Good evening, guys. In the last session, we discussed about what are the architectural patterns that people are going to follow to develop the application. So in the market, there are two types of architectural patterns are available. One is called monolithic architecture pattern, and the second one is called microservices architecture pattern. Monolithic architecture, nothing but if you develop all the functionalities in one single application, then it is called as monolithic architecture. Okay. There are several drawbacks available with the monolithic architecture. Like we are going to develop everything at one place. All the functionalities will be available at one place. And single point of failure will be available for our application. And then burden will be increased on the server. The maintenance of the project also will become difficult, and we need to redeploy the entire application. If there is any code change, then we need to redeploy the entire application when you go for monolithic architecture. To overcome these drawbacks, people are using microservices architecture. What is the meaning of a microservices architecture? Instead of developing everything at one place, we are going to develop small services. Small services which are independently deployable and execute. Okay. So here, every microservice will have limited functionality. Okay. And these microservices are very famous in the market nowadays. So what are the benefits available with the microservices? The first benefit with the microservice, they are loosely coupled. They are high availability will be available for them. No need to redeploy all the APIs, and technology independence also available. Then after, we discussed about what is SDLC. So if you see here, SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. So it is a systematic process or the framework that are managed by teams to design, develop, test, and maintain high quality software products. So SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. It is a process that companies are going to follow to develop, test, and deliver software applications. So in this SDLC process, there are several phases are available. So what are the phases available in the SDLC? The first phase is requirements gathering. So as a company, we need to understand what is client requirement. Okay, we need to understand what is client requirement. So requirements gathering will be the first step in the software development lifecycle. So we need to understand what is client requirement. Once we gather the requirement from the client, we need to analyze the client requirement. That means, can we develop this requirement or not? Is it possible to develop this requirement or not? We need to analyze. Then we should go for designing. What is the plan in order to complete this project? That designing we have to complete. Once the designing is completed, then coding. We need to implement the code for that. Development will be available. Development team will take care of that. Once the coding is completed, testing will be available for the application. Whether all the functionalities are working as expected or not, we are going to test it. Once the testing is completed, then project deployment will be available. Once the project deployment is completed, maintenance, that means the support will be available. So this is the standard process for software development in the real. Now here, for this software development, there are several models available. So one of the famous model is waterfall model. One of the famous model is waterfall model. So waterfall model is called as linear model. Waterfall model is called as linear model. So here, everything will happen step by step. Here, everything will happen step by step. So requirements we need to collect first. Once the requirements collection completed, then we need to go for a design. Then we need to go for development, test, deploy, maintenance. Everything we are going to move in forward direction. We need to move in the forward direction. Got my point? So here, when we are in the middle of the project, that means when we are in the development, requirements cannot be changed. When we are in the testing, requirements cannot be changed. When you go for waterfall model, everything is fixed. Requirements are fixed and budget is also fixed here. So that's why this waterfall model is outdated in the market. Because today in the market, requirements are changing every day. Lot of competition is also available in the market. And another drawback in the waterfall model, client will see the project at the end. Client involvement will be very less in the project. Client will see the project only at the end. At the end, if a client feels that, this project is not developed as expected, this project is not tested as expected, then total time will be wasted and money also will be wasted. So that's why to overcome the problem with the waterfall model, companies are going for agile model. So if you see the diagram, there are 3 sprints available. Sprint 1, Sprint 2, Sprint 3. What is the meaning of those sprints? First, let's understand what is agile methodology. Okay. So waterfall model we understood, and the drawbacks of the waterfall model also we understood. Today, we are going to talk about agile model. So what is agile model? Agile is an iterative approach. Agile is an iterative approach for project development and project delivery. Agile is an iterative approach for developing plus testing plus delivery. Okay. Agile is an iterative approach for developing, testing, and delivering the project. We can say agile is a continuous process. Agile is a continuous process for project development, testing, and deployment. So here we don't develop whole project at a time in the agile methodology. We don't develop whole application at a time. We don't develop whole application at a time. Project will be developed as multiple sprints. In agile methodology, project will be developed as multiple sprints, guys. Agile is a continuous process for project development, testing, and deployment. Agile is a continuous process for project development, testing, and deployment. Here, we don't develop whole application at a time. Whereas, if you go to the waterfall model, everything will be developed at a time and they will be delivered at a time. When it comes to the agile methodology, project will be delivered or project will be developed as multiple sprints. What is the meaning of that? In the project, assume that there are 100 requirements available. In the project, there are 100 requirements are available. If you develop all the 100 requirements and if you deliver to the client at a time, if a client is not happy, your time will be wasted and your money also will be wasted when you go for that development process. So that's why what we are going to do in the agile methodology. In the agile methodology, development, testing, deployment is a continuous process. In agile methodology, project development, testing, deployment is a continuous process. Nothing but always development will be available, testing will be available, deployment will be available. What is the meaning of that? Client has given 100 requirements for us. I don't develop all the 100 requirements at a time. First, I will take 30 requirements which are very critical for the client. First, I will take the 30 requirements which are very critical for the client. I will plan them, I will design, I will develop, I will test, I will deploy, I will review, I will deliver. So we are not going to develop the whole application here. We are going to deliver some functionalities in the application as one sprint to the client. So if you develop whole application, it is taking 1 year of time. But I'm not developing whole. I will do the work for 1 month. So in this 1 month, what we do? We will take few functionalities in the application and we will develop, we will test, we will deliver that only 1 month work to the client. The 1 month work that we are delivering to the client is called as one sprint. Once we deliver 1 month work to the client, we will take the feedback from the client. Hey client, one sprint is completed. You have given 100 requirements for us. Out of these 100 requirements, we completed these high important 30 requirements. You check them, they are working as expected or not, and you tell me what is your feedback. If a client is happy, then we will go for the next 30 requirements as the next sprint. If a client is not happy, only 1 month of time will be wasted. If a client wants some changes, we can make it at any point of time because we are not targeting for the whole project. We are developing application as multiple sprints. So for first 30 requirements, planning, designing, development, testing, deploy, review, and launch. Then take the client feedback. Once the client feedback is positive, then go for next sprint. In the next month, again, take 30 requirements, you plan them, you design them, develop them, test them, deploy them, and review. Again, we take the feedback for the second sprint. If a client wants some changes, we can make it. Once the second sprint is completed, then we will go for the third sprint. In the third sprint, another 30 requirements we are going to plan, design, develop, test, deploy, deliver, then again take the feedback from the client. So that's why we are calling it as a continuous process. Development, testing, deployment is a continuous process in the Agile methodology. That's why we are going to call Agile methodology as a iterative. Iterative nothing but continuous, looping. Same process if you are doing again and again, that is called iteration. So iteration nothing but same work we are doing again and again. That means, so this month we will plan, design, develop, test, deploy. Next month also, we will plan, design, develop, test, deploy. Third month also, plan, test, develop, deploy, take the feedback. So that's why here in the Agile methodology, for every 1 month, client will give the feedback about our work. If a client is happy, then we will go for the next sprint. If a client is not happy, we will make the changes for what we have done in the last 1 month. Here, if client is not happy, money will not be wasted, time will not be wasted because for every 1 month, client involvement will be available, client feedback will be available. But if you go for waterfall model, client will see the project at the end. But if you go for waterfall model, client will see the project at the end. If you see the waterfall model, client will see the project at the end. And if you go for Agile methodology, every 1 month, project delivery will be available for the client. The delivery that we are giving to the client for every 1 month is called as one sprint. In every sprint, planning, designing, developing, testing, deploying, and review will be available. Are you guys able to follow me? Are you guys able to follow me? Are you guys able to follow me? What is this Agile methodology? Continuous planning and continuous development, continuous deployment, continuous delivery will be available in the Agile methodology. I hope you are clear. What is Agile methodology? So in the Agile methodology, in Agile, project development, testing plus deployment is a continuous process. In Agile methodology, project development, project testing, project deployment is a continuous process. We don't develop whole application at a time in Agile model. in agile model. Project will be developed as multiple sprints. For every sprint, we will do, for every sprint we will perform plan plus design plus test plus plan plus design plus develop, plan, design, develop, test, deliver. Okay. Client involved, for every sprint we will perform planning, designing, development, testing, and delivery. For every sprint, client feedback is very important. Client involvement will be there for every sprint. Client involvement will be there for every sprint. Okay. So in the agile methodology, multiple sprints will be available. Here, project budget is not fixed. Project requirements are not fixed. Project requirements are not fixed. Project budget is not fixed. Project budget is not fixed. Project requirements are not fixed. Okay. Project duration is not fixed. It is flexible. When a client wants to change something, client will change. When a client change the requirement, then when the client change the requirement, then budget will change, duration will change. Client feedback is very important when you go for agile methodology. So what is the waterfall? Waterfall model, it is called as linear model. It is called as linear model, or it is called as sequence model. It is called as linear model, or it is called as sequence model. After one stage completed, then only we will move to next stage. So in the waterfall model, requirements are fixed, duration fixed, budget fixed. Client will see project at the end. Changing the requirements in the middle, not possible. But in the agile methodology, project development, project testing, project deployment is a continuous process. We don't develop whole application at a time in the agile methodology. We don't develop the whole application at a time in the agile methodology. Project will be developed as multiple sprints. For every sprint, we will perform planning, designing, developing, testing, and delivery. Client involvement will be there for every sprint in the agile methodology. So in agile methodology, project requirements are not fixed. Project budget is not fixed. Project duration is not fixed. Requirements are not fixed. Budget is not fixed. And the duration is also not fixed for the project. So agile is called as iterative methodology. So it is also called as, agile is called as iterative approach. Agile is called as iterative approach. Agile is called as iterative approach. Now, agile framework. When we go for agile, we need to understand agile terminology. When we are working in the agile project, we need to understand agile terminology. Before going to agile terminology, are you guys clear how the project will be delivered in the waterfall model? In the waterfall model, entire application will be delivered at a time to the client. Client will see the project at the end. Changing the requirements in the middle is not possible. But when you go for agile model, project will not be delivered at a time to the client. Project will be delivered in multiple sprints. Project will be delivered in multiple sprints. For every sprint, plan, design, develop, test, deploy, launch, take the feedback. Then again go for the next sprint, do the same kind of process. Plan, design, develop, test, deploy, take the feedback. Like this, one project can contain multiple sprints. Like this, one project can contain multiple sprints, guys. Good. Now coming to agile terminology. Coming to the agile terminology. The first one is backlog. The second one is sprint. The third one is scrum. And the fourth one is retro. Okay. Now, so when you go for agile methodology, mainly these four concepts will be available. One is called backlog. Second one is called sprint. Third one is called scrum. Fourth one is called retro. So what is backlog? Pending tasks, guys. Okay. So in the project, what activities are pending? Those pending tasks are called as backlogs. The pending tasks are called as backlogs. Suppose we need to create infrastructure. So that is a pending task. It's called backlog task. We need to create one Docker server, backlog, pending. We need to create Kubernetes cluster, pending task. Any pending task available in the project, we are going to call that pending task as a backlog. Then next one, sprint will be available. So sprint nothing but priority tasks we have planned for delivery. Okay, priority tasks we have planned for delivery is called as a sprint. Okay, the next one is scrum, daily status call. So every day team will connect for 15 to 20 minutes of time in the company. Okay, every day 15 to 20 minutes of call or meeting will be available. In that meeting, everybody should explain what they are doing today. What is their task today? When that task will be completed? Are they facing any challenges in the work? That we are going to discuss in the Scrum. Backlog nothing but pending task. Sprint nothing but priority tasks we have planned for delivery. Scrum nothing but daily status call. In that status call, we are going to connect for 15 to 20 minutes of time to discuss what is happening with the team, who is working on which task that we are going to discuss in the Scrum. Next one is retro. Retro nothing but feedback call. Feedback. Okay, it's kind of a review. Retro is nothing but review meeting on the sprint. Okay, what went well in the last sprint, how we have done the work, what went well in the sprint. Okay, what are the great things we have done in the sprint, what are the mistakes we have done in the sprint, any lessons we have learnt in the last sprint, any improvements that we need to do, any improvement we need to do. Okay, so any new ideas that we have, those things we are going to discuss in the retro meeting. Every month in the project, one retro meeting will happen. Every month in the project, one retro meeting will happen. In that retro meeting, we are going to discuss what went well in the sprint, what went wrong in the sprint, what we need to improve, what went well, what went wrong, what we need to improve. These concepts we are going to discuss in the retrospective meeting. So this is called Agile framework. This is called as a Agile framework. Are you guys getting my point? Agile framework will be available. So what went well here, what went wrong here, that we are going to discuss in the Agile framework. Are you guys clear with my point? Pending tasks, priority tasks, Scrum and retro. Good. Backlog means what are the pending tasks available in the project. Sprint means priority tasks that we have planned for delivery. Scrum means daily status call that will happen for 15 to 20 minutes of time. Retro, review meeting on the sprint. Review meeting on the sprint is called as retro. Okay. Now guys, now tell me, so if you develop a project using waterfall model, then operations will become very simple because the project will be delivered at the end, guys. The project will be delivered at the end. But here, if you develop the project by using Agile methodology, operations are also continuous process. Every time we need to set up the infrastructure, we need to build and deploy the code. Every month release will be available. So operations team will be involved as part of this Agile methodology. In every phase of the SDLC, operations team also will be involved in the market. In every phase of the project, operations team also will be involved. Okay, if the project is just waterfall, So developers will develop. At the end, the project deployment will be available. So the less work will be available for the operations team. But when you go for agile methodology, the project is not delivered in one shot. The project will be delivered in the form of multiple sprints. The project will be delivered in the form of multiple sprints. Every sprint, one release to the client. When there is a release, operations should be happening. So developers should know what we are delivering to the client. Delivery team should know what we are developing in the project. Okay. So there should be some for every day, every day Scrum call will be there to understand what is happening in the project. Every day, Scrum call will be there to understand what is happening in the project. So every month we are going to give a delivery to the client. As the development team and operations team working on the project for quick delivery with the quality, there should be some collaboration between development team and operations team. So as the projects are following this agile methodology, the demand is increased for operations team in the market. Means DevOps team demand increased in the market because we are doing quick deliveries and faster deliveries to the client. The main aim of the DevOps to maintain quick deliveries to the client. So once the developers develop the code quickly, we should be able to deliver that code to the client. So that's where operations team involvement will be high in the project delivery process. So what is the DevOps? DevOps nothing but development plus operations. What is DevOps? DevOps nothing but development plus operations. Okay. So what is the main aim of the DevOps? What is this DevOps here? DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a culture. And we can say DevOps is a process. DevOps is a culture. And we can say DevOps is a process. And we can say DevOps is a set of practices. DevOps is a set of practices. DevOps means development plus operations. DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a process. DevOps is a set of practices. DevOps is a set of practices. DevOps main aim. DevOps is used to establish. DevOps is used to establish collaboration between development team and operations team. The DevOps is used to establish collaboration between development team and operations team. The main aim of the DevOps is the main aim of DevOps team is to make project delivery process simple and quicker with high quality. Okay. So when there is a process, that means when there is a change in the project, you don't need to wait days of time, months of time to deliver that project. Okay. When there is a change in the project, when there is a change in the requirement, immediately we should be able to develop and we should be able to deliver to the client to meet the market requirement. The project development and delivery process should be speed up. To speed up the delivery process of our application, we are going to use this DevOps culture. DevOps means development plus operations. So DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a process. DevOps is a set of practices. What is the main aim of the DevOps now? DevOps is used to establish collaboration between development team and operations team. The main aim of the DevOps team is to make project delivery process simple and quicker with a high quality. Okay. So we are going to, companies are following the DevOps practices to speed up application delivery process. Companies are adopting DevOps culture. Companies are adopting DevOps culture to speed up application delivery process. Companies are adopting DevOps culture to speed up application delivery process. So what is the main reason here? the 7 C's of DevOps. There are 7 C's available when we are talking about the DevOps. What are those 7 C's available in the DevOps? So here in the DevOps, the first one is continuous planning. Continuous planning should be available when you go for the DevOps. And continuous planning should be available. Continuous development should be available. Continuous planning should be available. Continuous development should be available. And continuous integration should be available in the project. Continuous planning, continuous development, continuous integration, continuous planning, continuous development, and continuous integration should be available when we are going for the DevOps. Continuous deployment, continuous planning, continuous development, continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous deployment, continuous delivery, continuous deployment, continuous delivery should be available, continuous monitoring should be available, continuous monitoring should be available, continuous support should be available. Continuous delivery, continuous monitoring, continuous maintenance or continuous support will be available when we are going for the DevOps, or continuous feedback or something. Continuous support, or we can say continuous feedback that we need to take from the clients. So when we are going for DevOps, planning, development, integration, and we can say testing will be available, and we can say deployment will be available, and monitoring will be available, and continuous feedback will be available. DevOps life cycle. We can explain, we can segregate DevOps life cycle as below steps. These 7 C's. The below 7 C's represents DevOps life cycle. So how DevOps life cycle will be there in the company? DevOps life cycle nothing but in the project, continuous planning should be available, continuous development should be available, continuous integration should be available, continuous testing should be available, continuous deployment, continuous monitoring, continuous feedback should be available. So if you have this continuous process, then application can be delivered quickly with a high quality, and development team should know what operations team is doing. Operations team should know what the development team is doing. That's where the collaboration is required between the development team and the operations team. Development team and operations team will be available. DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a process. DevOps means set of practices. It is used to establish collaboration between the development team and operations team. The main aim of the DevOps team to provide project delivery process simple and quick with quality. Companies are adopting this DevOps culture to speed up application delivery process. What is the DevOps life cycle? DevOps life cycle we can explain as a 7 C's. Nothing but continuous planning will be available, continuous development will be available, continuous integration will be available, continuous testing will be available, continuous deployment will be there, continuous monitoring will be there, continuous feedback will be. Are you guys able to follow me? So where the DevOps will be used in the SDLC, guys? DevOps will be used in the SDLC at the end of the project. DevOps will be used in every phase of the SDLC. Guys, where the DevOps comes into picture in the SDLC process? DevOps will be there at the end of the SDLC, or DevOps will be available in every stage of the SDLC. DevOps will be available in every stage of the SDLC. DevOps will be available in every stage of the SDLC. Now, do you understand why the demand increased for DevOps engineers in the market? Guys, now do you understand why the demand increased for DevOps engineers in the market? Why the demand increased for DevOps engineers in the market? What is the reason behind that? Continuous process. So earlier, when the industry followed waterfall model, DevOps engineers does not have this much demand in the market because waterfall model is a linear model. After one step is completed, then only next step will happen. Requirements, design, develop, test, deploy. At the end, the deployment is required. DevOps people will be involved at the deployment phase at the end of the project, waterfall model. So here, currently in the market, Agile. What is the meaning of Agile? What is the meaning of Agile? It is a cyclic process. It is like a cycle wheel, continuous process, never stops. Continuous planning is required because we are not delivering the whole project to the client at a time. Continuously, we are going to do the planning, we are going to do the design, we are going to do the development, the testing, deploy, monitor, feedback. It is every month cycle. It is a every month cycle in the project. Project delivery process is a cycle for every month in the project. That's why we will call Agile in the Agile methodology, development, testing, deployment is a continuous process. It is called iterative process. It is an iterative approach to develop and deliver the application. So when we go for Agile methodology, requirements are not fixed, budget is not fixed, duration not fixed. If requirement is changed, budget will change, duration also will change. In the Agile, the terminology, backlog is available, sprint available, scrum available, and retro is available. Backlog means pending tasks. Sprint means priority tasks. We have planned for delivery. Scrum means daily status follow. Every day meeting will be available for 15 to 20 minutes to explain what we are doing in the project. Retro means review meeting. Retro means review meeting on the sprint. Pending tasks, priority tasks, daily status, review meeting on the sprint. Okay, so what is the main aim of the DevOps, guys? Why companies are adopting this DevOps now? Why companies are adopting this DevOps now? What is the reason behind that? Why companies are adopting this DevOps process? To speed up application delivery process. So in the SDLC, in every stage of the SDLC, DevOps will be involved. The main aim is to speed up the delivery process of the application. So here, 7 C's of the DevOps represents DevOps lifecycle. Continuous planning, development, testing, integration, deployment, monitoring, feedback will be available for the project. Dev plus operations is called DevOps. Dev plus operations is called DevOps. How we are going to speed up the application delivery process? By using DevOps tools. How we are going to speed up the application delivery process? To speed up the application delivery process, we are going to use several tools which are available in the market. So what are the tools available to speed up the delivery process? To speed up the delivery process, we are going to use these DevOps tools. Terraform, which is used to create infrastructure in the cloud. Ansible, which is used for configuration management. Maven, which is used as a build tool. GitHub, which is used as a version control. Tomcat, which will act as a web server to run the application. SonarQube, which is used for the code review, Nexus, which is used for Artifactory, Docker for containerization, okay, Kubernetes for orchestration, Jenkins CID, CI/CD to automate the build and deployment, Prometheus and Grafana for the monitoring, ELK or EFK for log monitoring, Jira for the project management. Okay, so these are the several DevOps tools we are going to use. These tools we are using in the DevOps process. That's why these are called as the DevOps tools. By using these DevOps tools, we can speed up application development and deployment process. So if you want to add DevOps culture to your project, you need to use these DevOps tools. If you want to speed up your application delivery process, you need to add these DevOps tools in your project. Yeah, I hope you got the clarity. What is a waterfall model and what is agile model? What is the difference between the waterfall model and agile model? And what are the challenges in the agile model? And why DevOps is having this much demand in the market? Why DevOps is having this much demand in the market? I hope you got the clarity. I hope you got the clarity. Is it clear for everyone? Is it clear for everyone? Yeah. So here, what we discussed about what is SDLC and the phases of the SDLC. And we discussed what is waterfall. And we discussed about what is waterfall model. And we discussed about what is agile model. We discussed what is agile model, DevOps lifecycle. What is the DevOps? What is DevOps? And we discussed about DevOps lifecycle. And we discussed about DevOps tools. And we discussed about DevOps tools. So we know what is a software project. We know why we need to develop the projects, what type of software projects are available, what is the architecture of the project, what is the technology stack of the project, what is the monolithic architecture, what is the microservices architecture, what is SDLC, and what are the phases available in the SDLC, what is the waterfall model, what is the agile model, what is the DevOps, what is the DevOps lifecycle, what are the DevOps tools available in the market. And we know roles and responsibilities of the DevOps engineer. Roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineer. What are the roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineer? Skills required to become DevOps engineer. Skills required to become DevOps engineer. What is project? Why project? How many types of projects available? What is application architecture? What is application tech stack? What is monolithic architecture? What is microservices architecture? What is SDLC? What are the phases available in SDLC? What is waterfall model? What is agile model? What is the DevOps? Why we need to go for a DevOps? What is the DevOps and why? What is DevOps and why DevOps? DevOps means development plus operations, which is used to speed up application delivery process with its life cycle 7 C's. Continuous planning, continuous coding, continuous integration, continuous testing, continuous deployment, continuous monitoring, continuous feedback. So that is the DevOps lifecycle. So DevOps will be involved in every phase of the SDLC. So how to simplify the application delivery process, how to speed up the application delivery process by using DevOps tools. So there are several tools available for the DevOps operations. So here we need to learn those tools to become a DevOps engineer, but only those tools knowledge is not sufficient to become a DevOps engineer. We need to learn Linux, shell scripting, cloud, and DevOps tools to become a DevOps engineer. And what are the roles and responsibilities of the DevOps engineer? in the initial session only, I discussed what are the roles and responsibilities of the DevOps team, roles and responsibilities. Understand the infrastructure, that is your role. Infrastructure creation by using Terraform, configuration management using Ansible, working with Linux machines, working with the source code repositories, working with the Docker containers, working with the Kubernetes cluster, working with the build and deployment using Jenkins with CI/CD, and monitoring the infrastructure, monitoring the application. So these are the roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineer. Okay, and these are the roles and responsibilities of the development team. Development team will understand the requirement, will develop, will test, will integrate, will do the bug fix. But as a DevOps engineer, we are going to perform these activities. Could you please read these points once again? DevOps team, roles and responsibilities. As a DevOps engineer, we need to understand the infrastructure. What machines are required? Okay. What network is required? What storage is required? What backup is required? What security is required? And we should be able to create the infrastructure in the cloud. So nowadays people are using cloud infrastructure. We will use a Terraform to create infrastructure in the cloud. And we need to perform configuration management, that is Ansible. And we should be able to work with the Linux machines as a DevOps engineer. We should be able to work with the source code repository servers. We should be able to work with the Docker, containers, Kubernetes, Jenkins, monitoring, application monitoring, clusters monitoring, that we should. So this is the summary of our last 4 or 5 classes. Okay, this is today's 5th session, right? So as part of this 5th session, this is what our sum. DevOps introduction classes sum. Okay, so with this our 5 free sessions got completed, guys. So we got the theoretical knowledge about software projects and DevOps, DevOps tools, why DevOps, what DevOps and all. So now we will start our journey with the Linux to become a DevOps engineer. Okay, so in the next session, we are going to start the Linux related discussion. The first thing that we are going to learn, as we discussed in the roadmap, first is introduction part. So this is what the introduction for becoming a DevOps engineer. So I hope now you got the clarity what you are going to do in the company as a DevOps engineer. Okay, now we need to start learning Linux. So from the next session, we are going to work on the Linux operating system. For all these things, the notes is available. I think I have prepared one PDF also previously. Let me check it once. If the PDF is available, I will share that PDF also. I don't think so it is available now. So I will check it and I will upload that PDF document also in our WhatsApp community. Okay. So these notes I will share in the WhatsApp group today. So with this, we are done with our 5 classes which are related to introduction part. I hope all of you got the clarity about the topics that we learned in the last 5 days. Just 5 days, within 5 days, we learned many things about the project, architecture, methodologies, models, architectures, why DevOps, what DevOps, and all that stuff. So from now onwards, we need to focus on Linux. First, we need to learn the Linux operating system in order to become a DevOps engineer. Okay, good guys. Thank you all of you for joining this 5 days. Thanks for bearing me for these 5 days. Okay. Now, so you can join in this WhatsApp group that I have given. If anybody did not get the videos, those videos available in our YouTube channel. The notes I'm going to share in the WhatsApp group. If you see in the YouTube, Ashok IT channel is available. In the Ashok IT channel, all the previous videos are uploaded. So this is Ashok IT YouTube channel URL. So I am going to share this URL in the chat box. Okay. So DevOps last 4 days videos available. So last 3rd video, 4th video, last videos available. First 2 days I have given the live DevOps day 1, DevOps day 2, DevOps day 3, and DevOps day 4 available. Today is the 5th session. Today video also I will upload in the YouTube, and I will share the links in the WhatsApp community group that we have. And this class notes also I'm going to share. For the new people, as I told you, this course duration will be 3 to 4 months of time. The course code is 18 DevOps. My name is Ashok. I'm going to be your trainer. The class timing will be 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. It is online session. Monday to Saturday classes will be available. Topic wise soft copy notes will be provided, guys. Every day video will be provided for the revision with 1 year access. Okay. WhatsApp group will be created for the discussion. The course fees is 18,000 rupees. Okay. So from tomorrow onwards, the Linux sessions will be available. Paid sessions, guys, free sessions got complete. Now, if you are interested to continue with this course, if you like our content, if you like my explanation, then you can complete your enrollment process today so that you will get the new Zoom link and you will be added to one WhatsApp group. There you can do the chatting. You can post your questions also. One new WhatsApp group will be created to attend the classes from tomorrow. New Zoom link will be available. We are done with free classes for 5 days. So from tomorrow, the Linux sessions are going to start. Linux is the prerequisite for the DevOps engineer. So I'm going to explain the Linux and shell scripting from tomorrow. So if you are interested to continue for this course, please complete your enrollment process. And once you complete your enrollment process, everything will be available in the website only. Once your enrollment is completed, guys, you need to go to our Ashok IT website. Here there is an option called login. If you have the account in the website, you can log in with your account. If you don't have the account in the website, you can use sign in with Google. If you go to sign in with the Google option, it will ask your email ID to log in. You select a mail ID which you have given to Ashok IT. Then you can log in into the application. Then you will go to My Courses option. In the My Courses option, the course will be available for you. The DevOps course will be available for you. If you join for this DevOps course, the DevOps course will be displayed here. Here, if you click on this class view notes, Zoom class link will be available and backup videos option will be available here and class notes will be available here for downloading. Every day notes will be available for you. Soft copy material, you can download that notes from here. So daily Zoom link will be available here. You need to join here. You need to attend the Zoom class from here. Join live class. When the Zoom link is modified, the link will be updated in the portal. You can access Zoom link, backup videos, class notes from the portal. Class notes you can download from here. Videos you can watch from here. Zoom link you can access from here to attend the classes daily. Once your enrollment is completed, admin team will give the access for this course. Okay. So you can go to the website and you can see My Courses. Whatever the course you join, that will display here in the dashboard. Click on View Notes. There you can see all the information. If the link is modified, we no need to send in the WhatsApp group. We will update in the portal. You access from the portal. Every day you need to join the class from our website. Got my point? Very good. Thanks. Now, so I'm going to give you enrollment process to attend this course, guys, from tomorrow onwards. If anybody having any doubts, I'm happy to answer all your questions at the end of the session. Okay, good. Yeah. So